At a rally just a few hours ago, President Trump was shot, and several shots fired out. One of the shots actually hitting a person in the bleachers, and they have been pronounced dead on the scene. Also, the shooter was killed. One of the bullets did strike President Trump in the ear. And this is, now we don't know how much it hit his head or anything like that, but clearly the pictures coming out there showing blood coming out of his head. He did walk off the stage. We have breaking updates on a whole bunch of this stuff. We're going to start telling you some of the stuff that's been going on out there. We got Twitter blowing up, people having conversations, disgusting conversations out there. And this really tells you that it is not just a one-off person, but we have a whole bunch of people on the political left of this country that are just excited and extremely disappointed that this did not end President Trump's campaign. And this is just despicable. We have a quote just a few days ago from President Biden. "We're done talking about the debate. It is time to put Trump in the bullseye." Now, some people are out there defending that as just, oh, well, that's just political speech and da-da-da-da-da. Friends, this is a pattern of incitement from President Joe Biden, Vice President Harris. We have all sorts of politicians on the left who have been saying such despicable things. Despicable things. They've been trying to conjure up an active armed resistance against President Trump for years. Just for reference, the New Republic magazine has a photo, a doctored photo of President Trump with a Hitler mustache with the caption, "American Fascism." And that's not even like unusual. That's just this week. We have been seeing ever since President Trump was elected. Remember Kathy Griffin, right? With the head covered in red. Absolutely despicable. Despicable. They have been trying to gin up violence against President Trump for many years, and they get their guy out there. They have a shooter with a long rifle, it looks like, because he was on top of a building. He has been eliminated, we are told. AP is saying that he is been confirmed down. But on Twitter, we see that this wasn't like, we don't see a whole bunch of people out there going, oh, this is really terrible. This should never have happened. We see the leftists up in arms, making things trend like staged. BB gun trending, because they're trying to make this out as if it's all faked in order to get President Trump elected or something. Another trending hashtag out there, fight, 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 as if they want to encourage this to go further. Another trending hashtag out there, one job, as if suggesting that the shooter failed the American people by missing. And there's also, there's the hashtag out there, they missed. Or how could they miss? This is absolutely, this is at the feet of these people who have been inciting. Why does it seem that all the assassination attempts always seem to be against conservative politicians? And when they're against leftist politicians, there's always someone on the left who did it. Every single attempt that we've seen in the past decade against a leftist politician in the United States has been by someone even more to the left of them. And every attempt, remember the shooting of the Scalise on the Congress baseball field, right? The congressional baseball thing that they were doing, and a Democrat came out there and opened fire on the congressman out there on the diamond. And not only that, but we have President Biden spending well over an hour before issuing a press release. Of course, they go absolutely bonkers because President Trump took a half hour between the breach of the Capitol and him issuing a tweet asking everyone to remain peaceful. a half hour between the breach of the Capitol and Donald Trump issuing a statement. And it took President Biden well over an hour to decide whether they should say anything. Like, this is boilerplate stuff. And even what was issued by the president is just that there is no place for violence in our political system. Just going back to Joe Biden's State of the Union speech, using all sorts of inflammatory language. Democracy is under assault. That he needed to wake up the Congress and alert the American people to the danger. He said, not since President Lincoln in the Civil War, which was open warfare, have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas. And we just had this press conference, right? Just a few days ago, where President Biden said this. Meanwhile, my predecessor has made it clear he has no commitment to NATO. He made it clear that he will feel no obligation to honor Article 5. He has already told Putin, and I quote, do whatever the hell you want. Now, does that sound inflammatory at all? Does that sound inflammatory? He continues, in fact, the day after Putin invaded Ukraine, here's what he said. It was genius. It was wonderful. Which Trump actually didn't say those things, but why in the world wouldn't he just make up quotes for Donald Trump? He says, some of you forgot, but that was exactly what he said. But I've made it clear a strong NATO is essential to American security, and I believe the obligation of Article 5 is sacred. So, implying that it's the sacred duty of Americans to eliminate Donald Trump. Like, you and I probably wouldn't think that way, but to some crazed leftist wacko, yeah, that's basically what he said. He said that democracy is under attack, that the nation is under attack from Donald Trump. That's what he said. He cannot use such inflammatory language and then just walk away from this. Now, the reports are that Donald Trump is going to make a full recovery, that he is okay, that this did seem to just hit his ear, but there was a lot of blood in the pictures and photos and video. But this, I mean, how close do you have to be? If he hadn't just twisted his head at that right time, if he hadn't moved over suddenly just in time, what would have happened? This is the situation where we are, where not only are conservatives being blocked and banned on YouTube, blocked and banned on other platforms like LinkedIn and others, they openly say it. They've just been given a carte blanche by the leftists on the Supreme Court to, yeah, you can go ahead and just block whoever you want, and then we don't have any way of saying that that is editorial control. We don't have any means of suing. Like, they can put up the most horrendous stuff up on their platform and give priority to the most ridiculous lies and most inflammatory content, and yet we can't hold Google or any of these other platforms liable, or Facebook. But yet they can simply sit there and curate as much as they want to, but then they can always go, oh, well, we didn't write it. Somebody else wrote it. Yeah, but you boosted it. You boosted the content. You boosted that inflammatory language. And you suppressed other speech. And you pretend like you're not doing it. You lie about not doing it, which you absolutely are doing it. Under attack on all fronts, it seems like. And this is where we are. How do we get our country back? Well, these people need to be thrown out of office. They need to be impeached. They need to be voted out of office. They need to be gone. They need to be peacefully removed, right? And the idea that they are going to sit there like a third world banana republic and assassinate and imprison all of their political opponents. Yes, in prison, we've seen this already happening, right? The political prosecution of Donald Trump. For what crime? For what crime? Recently, we saw him charged with the crime of overstating the value of a building that he used to get a loan. Did he pay back the loan? Yes, he did. He paid back the loan. Did the bank say that they lost any money? No, the bank didn't lose any money, and yet somehow that's a felony. Did he take out more money than he should have? No. The bank has the due diligence to decide whether the building is worth that much. And the bank decided it wasn't worth that much. But the simple fact is that businesses do this all the time. They say, this is how much we think it's worth. And the bank says, well, we only think that we could sell it for this much. The situation is dire here in America. And it's getting more dire. I know that we feel that open conflict is not too far away. And when the political left resorts to violence, like burning down cities because they didn't get their way about this or that, they're blocking airports, they're blocking roads. At what point does all their violence and insurrection get to the point where we need to respond to them? Because this is not a one-off thing. This isn't like the only thing that's ever happened. This isn't like the only thing that's happened this year. We see the blatant disrespect, the violence in our inner cities. We see the importation of violent criminals and then the refusal to imprison or to deport them. We had the testimony on this channel from a Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer sharing with us anonymously behind the scenes of exactly what's going on, that these guys are being arrested for violent crimes in the United States. But because they're from Venezuela, they're moved from the criminal justice system over to the deportation system. They're ordered deported, but then because they can't be deported to Venezuela, they're being released onto the streets. Instead of being charged with murder and other violent offenses, which they're guilty of, they're being released on the streets without a trial, without criminal charges, and without any prosecution, without prison time. And he's saying that this isn't like a one-off. This is happening continuously. And these violent criminals are realizing that there is zero penalty. They get slapped on the wrist and held in prison, in jail for 30-some days for murder, multiple murders, and then they're released back on the street. That's what this administration is doing. They are waging war on our country. Democracy is under attack. Our republic is under attack. But it ain't by Donald Trump. It's by these people who are threatening and instigating violence left and right. We are so glad that President Trump is okay. But this is unacceptable in any shape or form, at any level. And the conversation that's happening on the left is unacceptable in the nth degree. At the highest levels of Congress. We're hearing reports now that President Biden is urgently getting his PACs and his political campaign to pull all of his political propaganda that's out there, because knowing that much of it's inciting violence. Mark my words. Mark my words. They're not done cheating, lying, and bullying. If they can't win a debate, they do this. We've seen this before. We've seen this before. And I don't know where we go from here. President Biden's issued a weak statement of this shouldn't happen. I don't know, just because it's past his bedtime already or something like that. That's why it took so long. Or maybe because he didn't really want to issue the statement in the first place. All right, folks, we'll keep you updated. Anything that comes out from this, we don't know who the shooter was just yet. I'm sure that will be coming out in the future as things go forward. A lot of people having a lot of questions. We don't know the person. This is my neck of the woods. I thought about going to it today. I thought about going up there to Butler today, but I didn't. And Butler, Pennsylvania is, I used to work up there. So not too far from here. My schedule didn't permit me going up there today, but I could have been up there just as easily. All right, friends, keep moving forward. Keep getting more prepared because things are not going to go well. Things are not going to go well. If we win fair and square, they won't let up. They won't let up. They'll see how many cities they can burn to the ground. All right, friends. Thanks so much for watching. Keep praying for President Trump and his family and for the family of the person in the crowd that lost their life. And we will see you guys again here tomorrow. God bless you all. God bless America.